Hey, what's going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another video on Marvel Strike Force, and in today's event video, we are here to talk about Jean Grey's Unlock event, and that's going to be a mental mastery that is going to be starting on Tuesday at 1 p.m. Yes, I know that some people might be a little bit confused because the Phoenix Force Fitness event was 8 days, not 7 days, and then this upcoming new event, which is starting on Tuesday, is going to be a 6-day event. So I guess we can go back around to Monday because of I think there's an American holiday. Don't quote me on that one because, I don't pay attention to holidays, but that's what I understand. So in today's video, you're going to learn everything that you need to know to get as many shards for Jean Grey as possible. Also, I do want to do a quick coverage of Into the Spotlight, the Alliance-based event, because there's some things that I'm doing. My tips might not help everyone, but it may help some people get to milestone 20, at least maybe the next couple of weeks, depending on if you have Hercules, if you have enough Hercules in your alliance. We'll talk about that really quickly, though. So if you're ready to go, everybody, let's boil this down. Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk about is Into the Spotlight, just really shortly here at the beginning of the video, which is Spotlight to Strike. Now, for me and my alliance, we have 18 Herculeses because, I recommended everyone to hoard their power cores, and we did actually largely, there's a couple of spenders in my alliance, but by and large, a lot of us did this completely free to play. And so we're on the cusp of getting 100%, or we're starting to do 100% runs now. But I do want to, I'm not going to be getting it for this version of Into the Spotlight. I am recording this a little bit in advance here of next week. But, milestone 20 is very much viable to do if on Sunday you hold your raid keys. If you're in an alliance that can do 100%, you should hold your raid keys on Sunday, because that's when In the Spotlight typically ends. There is a 1-day break because these are 6-day events. And so therefore you can save your raid keys for the following week, and then you can run 2 raids because it doesn't take that long. There's still not that many nodes that you could easily do like 2 raids kind of sort of back to back in that case, and then be able to get those extra milestone points in to get you to milestone 20 to get the 800,000 ions, which is quite significant. So I just want to share this part here. Again, I did this spreadsheet. I kind of showed this off a little bit, that the typical endpoint was about 1.514 million. This was if you're doing D1 at like as close to 100% as possible. It was just shy of that. Now, if you did D2, you literally would have to 100% D2 for 6 days straight, and it's just cutting it off at like 1.604 million. So very, very close to the line here. But if you want to maintain like D1, and you could do that just fine if you get this other of the raid launch in. If you're able to do 100%, then you can save your launch from Sunday. Don't do it on Sunday, and then just launch it sometime during the week to get to make up the extra milestones. So I just wanted to share this part with you before we jump into the actual event videos for today, which is going to be talking about Jean Grey. So I'm going to hide myself here so we can take a look at the table here. Now, this is, sorry, that's the Alliance one. This one here, which is the Jean Grey one. And so you can see over here on the right-hand side that there is going to be a total of 100 Jean Grey shards. Now, a lot of this is going to be dependent on how many not power cores, how much energy that you're going to be spending from hoarding. So on Tuesday is when we believe that the level cap is going to be increased. That's what we were told. So there should be a patch in relation to that should go live at least by the time that this event goes live. So I got 21,000 energy. I'm probably going to have about 22K by the time this event goes live, which means that I'm going to get a shit ton of progress on this milestone event because it involves campaign energy spending. So the mileage is going to vary for a lot of people here, because I know that people who were hoarding are maybe going to cash in their hoard here. So do take some of this with a grain of salt. As far as like if you're a regular player who did no hoarding, you can probably easily expect to get up to here, which would be about 75 Jean Grey shards, I think it is here. But the 30 Jean Grey shards down here might be more challenging if you're not pushing these milestones with hoarding or coring or whatever. So you get 5, 10, 15, 25, 45, 70 Jean Grey shards, my bad, there, and then an extra 30 down there. So 70 is going to be easily obtainable, free to play, and then there's going to be a variety of other rewards in here as well. And that event milestone item is not that difficult to get either. But if you do want to get further down here, free to play without hoarding, it's going to be a little bit more challenging, but we'll take a look at the event math for that. And before we jump into that, I do want to remind people about the level cap increase, because we did over here, we did talk about this in a previous video, and I kind of want to bring this one up again, right? And so the expectation for leveling up is going to be that it's 44,000 XP per level, and then the expectation is going to be about 2 weeks per level. So if you were to do 200 cores daily, that kind of thing, and and with the assumption that we have 2 showcases running, which we often do at this point, then it's going to take you about just under 2 weeks per level. This doesn't account for hoarding. This doesn't account for the XP that comes from the milestone events and so on and so forth. So this is kind of like what I would deem as like the maximum, like that a regular player or like a player that pushes is going to take. So the average is about 2 weeks per level, but it's probably going to be a lot less than this. I think they're actually trying to push this level cap a little bit faster for whatever reason. Maybe G20 is actually going to be like within a month's time. Maybe it's going to be a lot faster than what G19 was before the last level cap, because there is XP here in the mental mastery chart. In total, if you've hoarded like I have and you think you might finish milestone 20, you will get 10,000 XP out of this whole thing. But there's a good amount of XP even for like up towards the event item. I believe it's 5,000 XP here, which isn't too terrible in terms of like stuff that you're getting anyways. This was never a thing in the former level caps, so this is interesting that they've decided to include this here. But let's jump to the math for the event. I have it down here, past Phoenix Force Fitness. Let's talk about mental mastery and what's going on with this event. So it is a 6-day event. It involves campaign energy spending with Cosmic Crucible rewards and bonus points for Immortal X-Men. Don't worry if you don't have Immortal X-Men leveled up yet. You do get the points for just using them, although that might require you to do a sack or something, which is unfortunate. So if you don't have it built to the point where you can win a match, you can still get the points. But you're going to have to use them in a sack of some kind. And then Uncanny Showcase Energy. So this is happening every single week as far as the web milestone goes. Total milestone points. I don't know why I didn't have that in there, but it's 250,000. There we go. The event item is at 99,000 points, and that's milestone 15. I'm going to assume that there's going to be a 500 daily free claim, which is pretty frequent. 70 gene shards, we can get this at 83,000, which is milestone 14. But the 100 gene shards, the extra plus 30, is going to be at 150k, which is milestone 18, which is going to be hard to reach if you are not someone who was hoarding campaign energy like myself. There is a total of 10,000 XP available, but I would say about 5,000 of this was more reasonable to get. So average players are going to get about 5,000. If you clear the entire milestone, you'll get 10,000 XP as a result of that. The web milestones is worth 30,000, which is 2,500 uncanny energy over 6 days. Now, this is about 8 extra refreshes on top of your regular time-based energy. So this is going to be about 400 cores that you need to put into this over the 6 days, which is not too bad. I don't think that's a huge expenditure at this point. Now, you do get 6 points per campaign energy spent, which is a fair bit. So it means like somebody like myself who has a crap ton of energy, if I have 22,000, right, it's that times 6. So I'm getting somewhere like 130,000 points just from like dumping my hoard. And yes, I am going to be doing that. So anything that you see here probably at the end in terms of points, it's not going to take into consideration how much energy you may have hoarded just in general for the level cap. So keep that in mind as well. Battling in Cosmic Crucible is going to get you 30,000 points. That is the equivalent of 6 Crucible battles per day. Don't worry, this is actually 2 Cosmic Crucible matches because it's a 6-day event. So because this event starts on Tuesday, you do get that Tuesday Cosmic Crucible, which is Trial 3, and then you have the other one that's going to be happening on Sunday. So do keep that in mind. If you do not have Jean Grey unlocked and you do have her for Sunday, you can still use her here for this Immortal X-Men Crucible points here, but you do have to use Immortal 5 times. So you have to use the team once, the full team once, or the 4 characters once, and then another one on the next trial, something like that, to fulfill the 15,000. So there's 45,000 points here up for grabs from Cosmic Crucible. The campaign energy per day, I mean, I'm going to show this here again as usual, which is the same campaign energy chart that I normally show. 1,100 is your daily energy for about 200 cores daily. But again, this isn't going to matter a whole lot if you've been hoarding a lot of energy. So, but if you are doing at least this, then that's 40,000 points over 6 days, and that's going to help for the total reasonable points total, which we'll get to, which is about milestone 16 at about 118,000. So it's this 40,000 plus this 45,000 plus the 30,000 and this 3,000. So there's not a lot of inputs into this event actually, which makes it surprisingly easy. The majority of this is going to come from campaign energy, where you're going to get the extra points. It's not a milestone though, so there's really not a whole lot of things to worry about. But that's going to get you to milestone 16. And just to let you know where that is over here, just one after the event item. So that's going to give you an additional 1,000 XP, a shitty amount of red gear orbs, and some red health catalysts, and some crimson Shogoth Ichor, which I think is red mystic G19 minis. So, but for everyone else who may be hoarding a lot and kind of dumping all of their energy, you will get the extra 30 Jean Grey shards down here. You'll get some diamond orbs, you'll get some dark diamond credits, and some extra XP, which is basically all. And some G19 mystic minis, it seems, down here, which is just a fair bit. But I'm not really hurting on red gear at this point, so it's not really that big of a deal for me. So you're not going to get a ton. Now, if you're someone who's been sitting on... I mean, so yeah, I'm going to talk about this. The strike store, right? Some people might have some of this. I've apparently accumulated 37,000 points, which has been over the course of, like, since this shop has ever existed. I've never really ever bought anything. And so I'm not going to be buying right away this pack. I'm going to see if campaign energy pops up again for the following week or any other weeks. You know, I'm not in a rush to get to 105. We will talk about the Race to 105 milestone event, though. We're going to talk about that in a separate video because I think it's really important. We're going to be talking about that in terms of the priority for leveling. So normally this video, because I normally release the event videos like a day in advance, which would be Monday, but I'm going to be talking about a different video on Monday, which is going to be related to leveling up. It's going to be my Race to 105 tier list, but there's a lot of traps and considerations that you really need to think about when it comes to spending gold on this upcoming milestone. We also don't know what it's going to be really about. We don't know what it looks like. We don't know what the table looks like because people asked, I believe, Pathfinder on Friday whether or not that they were going to share this. They said that they were not. So until it pops up in game, we actually don't know like how much gold it's going to cost us or what the expectation is to get any red stars for Omega Red. So a lot of this is still in flux, which is why I'm not covering it here in this video. But I do want to kind of let people know that there isn't an immediate rush, especially for free-to-play players, to get these levels. But again, you might as well flush the campaign energy hoard now, because at least you're going to double dip for some experience points. So some final stuff for the event. The event is not a leaderboard event, but there is a decent amount of XP in the milestone rewards. This is Jean Grey's unlock event, so anyone with energy hoards should be flushing probably on this event. There's some decent double dipping, and honestly, it's going to be a while until G20 leaderboards. It's at least a month, I would think. So now is the time to spend your energy for Jean Grey, XP, and other milestone rewards if you so wish. So a pretty easy event otherwise. There's going to be a lot more stuff to talk about, though, in videos, which is why this is coming out on Sunday and not on Monday like it normally would for most events, because there's just other things that I need to talk about. So that's it for now, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and until next time, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you all later. Boilon signing out.